Hello and welcome to the Amy and
Kyle?
Adventures podcast, also known as the AKA podcast. I'm really sorry we didn't do an episode last week, to be honest. We got back from our cycle home from Italy where we cycled 2,000 kilometres back home. And then we had a week and a half and then we went to Scotland and then we got back from Scotland and we planned to record the podcast the day after we got back. But then we both came down with a cold and to be honest, we're both still not 100%, so I'm sorry if there's any snuffles or any weird sounding voices, but last week we just were not in the mood to record where we
Hold on, let me interrupt.
Yeah?
You come down with a cold.
Yeah, I
and then
did.
passed it on to moi.
Yeah, I did. Caring is sharing.
And mine's been far worse.
No, you've been... So I had a cold and it was horrible, really bad, in bed for 2 days, but I didn't moan about it because...
You did.
Not really, you have to get on with these things. This one, blooming heck, it's like I came down with a plague.
Can I just say something?
Thought you were dying.
One, she did moan.
No, I didn't.
And second... Yes, she did.
Once.
And second of all, or for all you fellas out there, I think us men get it quite a bit, rougher.
I think you are more dramatic, actually. I think you just don't get on with it. You were lying on the sofa, honestly, that's the dog walking out the room if you can hear that. You were lying on the sofa and honestly looked at you and thought, is he dying or is he just,
It wasn't that.
got the cold I had?
Hold on. I was doing the drive when I was ill one day.
Yeah, we need the drive doing, thank God.
Right. Anyway, enough of that.
Anyway, we're arguing again at the start of the podcast. We're always tiffing. But anyway, this podcast, we don't have...
tiffing?
We're tiffing. Yeah, we're arguing. We don't have an introduction to the podcast. We're not that, well-versed here. We're not that technical. Basically, it's just a podcast about cycling, exercise, maybe a bit of running, endurance, mental health and marriage. And the dog is now playing around in the lounge. Chester, can you sit down, please, and behave? You're on a podcast here, mate. You've already, experienced a bit of marriage. Basically, it was arguing most of the time, but that's real life, isn't it? So
It's the way it is.
yeah.
These things happen.
It's the real life. Anyway, we got back from Italy, pretty tired after doing that many miles. Both went back to our normal day jobs. Kyle's a builder, aren't you, Kyle?
Sorry about that.
Kyle, you
Yes, I am a builder.
Jeez,
We have been on a ride today.
Yeah, we've just got back from a 96-mile ride today, so we're both a bit tired, and Kyle's yawning. So we got back from Italy quite tired. Both went back to work. I work in finance in the NHS. Very lucky that I now work part-time because somehow the YouTube means and the Instagram means that I can work part-time, which is nice. Kyle's still full-time bricklaying, aren't you?
I am.
And then we had a week and a half at home and then we cycled to Scotland. So it's been pretty full on. But we can't complain because it's great, just tiring.
I mean, it's all been very good, but hard. But you can't complain because it's something we love doing.
Yeah, we basically I started YouTube basically nearly in January, it'll be 2 years ago. Kyle bought me a second-hand GoPro for Christmas. And then I'd already started Instagram a year before that. So I've been doing Instagram about 3 years and YouTube nearly 2 years. And honestly, I just started this account. I never, ever expected it to grow. So when we get these opportunities like Scotland, we just can't say no to it. So for Scotland, we basically cycled from Derby Velodrome via Manchester Velodrome and Glasgow Velodrome up into Perthshire. Perthshire or Perthshire? Perthshire or Perthshire?
Like Derbyshire, but Perthshire.
Yeah, Perthshire. I'm not very good with names. And when we got there, we got to meet Dame Laura Kenny and Sir Jason Kenny, which was just absolutely amazing. So we just couldn't turn that down, but blooming heck. To do it, we had to, first of all, go to a track taster session. Now, if anyone's into cycling, basically, or not into cycling, the track is basically this indoor track, but it's blooming angled, it's like, I can't describe it, not vertical, it's like 40 degrees.
42 degrees pitch.
Oh, gee whiz, not again, never again. Honestly, I tried to go up the side, no, my mind was not having it. I went up the side a little bit, and every time we got to a corner, my mind just said no, and I came down, didn't I, Kyle?
Yeah. Also, can I point out that I was far more nervous than you going into it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was very nervous. I kept saying to you, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I had nightmares about it, to be honest.
But, to be honest, I loved it.
You were whipping around like a blooming pro,
It's
you were.
not as scary as you think. Well, it is scary.
It is scary.
But it's such a thrill.
Basically, the bikes you go on, they have no brakes and you can't stop pedalling. They're called fixed gear. So there's one gear, and when you go, you can't stop pedalling. To stop, you have to relax your legs and then it will slowly stop pedalling. And I didn't mind that on the flat. I was quite happy with that. I was okay. as soon as you get me up that vertical side, no thank you very much. I felt like it actually wasn't too bad, a little bit up the side, but going around the corner, I was like, I just can't see myself going around the corner. And then the coach man kept going, keep pedalling. I was like, I've got to keep pedalling. I can't stop, can I? I've not got no brakes here. So, shouting that at me ain't going to help me. And then he was like, keep going around the corner. I was like, no, I can't. So I just kept going down onto the flat bit.
You still give it a go.
It was basically a failure. But it does make me realise those track cyclists are blooming insane. I don't know how the speed they go at, and gee whiz, no, never again for me. Give me a 600 kilometre ride every day over that. What do you think, Kyle?
I mean, it's...
Can you stop yawning? Jeez.
Crikey bobs. I mean, it's all very different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, 600k is something we prefer to do, but some people might look at us and think,
We're insane.
That's just nuts. Why are you doing that?
To be honest, right now my current status is jiggered, basically tired. So I'm questioning my life choices of why we decided to cycle to Scotland a week and a half after cycling home from Italy. Because if, you don't need to cook dinner tonight, Carl, because I'm already cooked. I mean, just add a bit of salt to me. You don't even need to add salt to me. I've sweated that much today. You've basically got a layer of salt on me already. Just put me on your plate and eat me at this point in my life. I mean, we did a 90-mile ride today. I have never felt so tired. Honestly, didn't I, Kyle? I was bonking bad. Bonking in cycling means running out of energy, by the way. It doesn't mean you're, doing at it like rabbits on the side of the road on your bike. But, yeah, I think I've just done a lot recently. It's not just the physical stuff. It's like the mental side of it as well, because I get home from a ride, and again, I'm having a bit of a moan, but it is great, really. I love it. But it's like editing all the videos and all the life admin rubbish you have to do. And are you yawning again? Am I boring you? It's probably one man, like I said last time, one man who's 3 cats. They're probably asleep right now listening to me jabbering on. But I think sometimes, it's hard to say no to things because it's all amazing stuff. But we do need to be careful that we get the balance right. I think it's like it for everyone's life. Like, everyone is so busy and it's so hard to get enough rest, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think today on that ride I realised, right, I need to have more rest this week.
And in fairness to me, I did keep saying to you, you need to rest.
But you did, but then you said, let's go and do this ride today.
No, but yesterday I did say, you don't need to. You did more than me yesterday.
Yeah, I did.
And all right, I was probably a little bit more ill.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just need to rest up.
Kyle, you were ill. Well, yeah, funnily enough, Kyle was ill yesterday with this cold that I had that apparently was so much worse for him. Chester's now running around in the lounge, sorry. He's sneezing as well. So I said, I'll go on a ride on my own then. I'll meet the club, and I went on a little club ride. Then all of a sudden, I get a text from Kyle, I feel much better. Chester, no. Sorry, Chester's scraping the rug now. You're not allowed to do that, Chester. Kyle says, suddenly I feel much better because he finds out there's a cafe.
That's not true.
Well, why
I
did
didn't feel much better.
Well, why did you come then?
Well, I did get a text off a certain someone saying, slight issue, I forgot my bank card.
Yeah, I did forget
my bank card. But I did plant the seed in the morning saying, I think I might just ride out steady to the cafe to meet you. Cause
yeah, don't blame me. You were going to come anyway. As soon as
there was a cafe involved, I was like, yeah, that's a bit of me.
You were going to come to the cafe anyway, whether you were, feeling better or not, because you can't resist a mocha and a cake. And don't blame me with the bank card, because I was with me and 6 other fellas, and one of them would have bought me and I could transfer in the money
you didn't
later.
Tell me that.
Well, I didn't tell you that, but I didn't say you needed to come. Anyway, we're arguing again now.
Well, when I said I would meet you there, you put great.
Yeah, I did say great, because I thought, now I don't have to ask him to pay for me. But I also thought, he's perked up at the sound of a cafe, hasn't he? Funnily enough, 10 hours ago, you were lying on the sofa like you were dying. But now you're blooming, perky as anything, turn up at the cafe, beasting up the climbs like nothing's wrong with you.
I wasn't beasting up the climbs.
You were on the way home yesterday.
What was it like when I got home yesterday?
You were dead, but you weren't dead on the ride because you were trying to show off and have all your masculine macho.
I was in a bit of pain when I got home.
You were.
Let's put it that way.
And I wasn't sympathetic.
And my lungs were very sore.
And I wasn't sympathetic because we went up the climb and you were off the front of the group beasting up there.
But I have felt very much better today.
Yeah, I felt much better today.
Still
better
not
than
100%,
me.
but...
No, but basically the message is we need to just calm and slow down a bit, because it has been a really busy time and it is hard to say no to things. But I think in life in general everything's busy and everyone's rushing around, but you've got to just find the balance of also it's so important to rest, and especially from like a mental health perspective. Chester, no, lie down. Sorry, I'm doing my strict mum voice. Chester, lie down. Chester, lie down.
And he's also doing his, I want to carry on doing that.
He's
face.
being really naughty. I don't know what's up with him.
He's
Chester,
very
sit.
excited because he's just been on a walk.
Sit down. Sit. Sit. Sorry about this slight interruption. Now stay there. You're being very naughty. He's wrecking our rug. Anyway, what was I even saying? I can't blooming remember. What was I talking about?
Rest.
Rest. Yeah, I need rest right now. Oh, he's resting now. Good boy, Chester. Yeah, I think like it's in life in general, like for your mental health, it's so important to get a good balance of rest because when you're stressed out and tired, mentally you're just not feeling good. And then that's when you can get more snappy and you have more arguments, especially us, like when we're tired. We don't really argue a lot, but we have a lot of tiffs, don't we?
Yeah, or maybe go a little bit quieter.
Yeah, just don't talk for a few hours and then feel like we're just, passing ships in the sea on separate waves.
Why are you sort of getting all poetic?
Well, I do see myself as...
Oh, no, sorry, that's a metaphor.
I am actually an author now, actually, Kyle. If you don't know, basically I've got a book out which is unreal to me called Finding Happiness Pedal by Pedal. At the minute, I'm finding blooming digging myself into a grave pedal by pedal how I feel after the ride I've done today, to be honest with you. I mean, honestly, at one point I saw stars, I think, and then I got some cake down me and I felt much better, so I think I just hadn't eaten enough, but yeah. I'm still thinking about food now, to be honest. As soon as we've recorded this podcast, I'm raiding the fridge. I've got a real craving for some like Greek yogurt with frozen raspberries and oats mixed in. I love that snack. Anyway, we'll move on to the argument of the week. Now, in marriage, arguments are normal. You've seen that in this podcast already, to be honest with you. Now, when we were riding to Scotland, so we basically rode 600 kilometres in 2 days. Absolutely great. We went up the Shap climb. It was hard, but it was fun. And we did it as part of our Audaxing, which is where you have to ride 600 kilometres within 40 hours to get points for Audax. Audax is a long distance cycling association. We love it. We love long distance. They're the best sort of rides. But basically, I was coming to a point of feeling a little bit tired. It was on day 2? Yeah.
Second day. Yeah.
Second day of 2. And I think at that
just
point...
out of Glasgow, weren't we?
We'd just come out of Glasgow, so we'd done a lot of miles. I think we had about 70 miles left for the day.
No, not that many. Like 50 miles.
Okay, 50 miles left for the day. And I was really tired. Bearing in mind we'd done like 300 miles up to this point, something like that. Over 300 miles in the last 2 days. And we were coming up to these traffic lights and I said to Kyle, I'm really tired. We had a big hill coming up. I said, I'm just going to take this hill nice and slow. So let's not go beast mode up there. Because we had bags on the back of our bikes and all sorts and I was just tired. Rolling up to these traffic lights, another cyclist already waiting at them. And I thought, I know what's going to happen here. If he's going the same way as us, up that climb, I'm going to be left for dust here. Because Kyle has this thing where if he sees another cyclist on a climb, he has to go and catch them up. And so I said to Kyle, don't do what I think you're going to do. I'm tired. I'm not in the mood for this right now. Because I just wanted you to ride with me up it because I was just not feeling very good. Traffic light goes green. It's like, oh, bats out of hell. Like Tour de France, blooming Tourmalet. I don't know what we were doing. Car goes straight off through the green. This man goes up. Bearing in mind he's got no weight on his bike. Probably on his, Saturday jolly. Car goes straight up on his back wheel. I'm left for dust. And then I just see him happily glide past him. Little smirk on his face, probably, I imagined. No. And I was literally, honestly, there was a corner. They went round the corner. Couldn't even see them. And I was just going up this climb like, what an absolute idiot. I'm not talking to him when I get to the top. Like, I was just so annoyed. When you just get in a really angry state.
We won't have to repeat the words she actually did say to me.
No, I was swearing in my head. Let's just put it that way. And it wasn't really that, honestly, on a normal day when I wasn't tired, I wouldn't really care. Because I'm like, let him go for it. Letting him have his fun. And, I know he'd wait for me at the top. But just on that day, I was just so annoyed. And then we got to the top and he was like, Kyle was stood there with his phone. But he was like, I went up ahead so I could video you for your Instagram. Balls, you went ahead to video for my Instagram. You went ahead because you wanted to catch him up and go past him and show off. And I literally just came up and I was like, don't even film me right now. I just went past him with a face like thunder, didn't I?
Right, can we hear my side of the story now?
Yeah, but it was a dick move, Kyle.
One, yeah. Amy's trying to make me look like I'm an obsessed racing idiot.
That's what you were in that moment.
This is not the case. Amy did actually say to me, these were the words I heard, were, right, I'm not feeling too good. I'm going to take this one easy, but I'll probably just see you at the top.
I didn't say
So
that.
I was like, well, if she said see you at the top, that gives me a bit of a green light just to pop off. So I just started going at my own pace. I didn't rush off up the hill. I wasn't out the saddle, like, really going for it, like you're making out like I was chasing someone down. Yes,
were
I did.
chasing that man
I
down.
did sit on his wheel for a little bit, and then I said, thank you for the pull.
As you went past him feeling all good about yourself.
It did feel rather good.
Yeah.
We all know that feeling. Don't pretend you don't. But I did go to the top to actually feel, but Amy couldn't get that into her head. So I got a very angry Amy. But we are scraping the barrel here because we didn't have many arguments on that trip.
No, that was the only argument really. So we did quite well, but I was not happy. But then we always have, like, on a long distance ride or any ride, when you're tired, you're always going to argue at some point, and that's okay. But as long as you can, I think the reason we work so well in our long distance ride is because we can just get over it really quickly. Like, I always just think to myself, when you have an argument, you can either you can let it carry on for ages and ages and be angry for ages after it, but it's not going to change anything. So you might as well just have your argument, get it over with, and then just be like, oh, like, obviously leave each other for a few minutes, like, to cool off, and then you just like smile at each other and you're just like, right, we're fine again now. That's what we normally do, isn't it?
Yeah.
But in the argument, like, I think you need an argument sometimes as well. It's like quite fun. Not fun, but like get your
Funny
anger
to
out.
look back on.
Yeah, we can laugh about them now.
Yeah.
But at the time, you're blooming raging.
I mean, I was finding that quite funny at the time, to be honest. But
You might find it funny, I wasn't. You wouldn't be happy if I did that to you.
you,
When we
Also-
started cycling,
Amy did that to me many of times.
yeah, and you weren't happy about it, so you know the
So
feeling.
now you're just getting sweet revenge.
But I didn't chase people up the climb, I was just faster. Naturally.
Bit cocky.
Now you're faster than me, so I can't be cocky anymore. But I'm proud of you for your speed, as long as you don't leave me behind all the time.
You can be, you are still very quick up the climbs. I feel sorry for anyone trying to follow Amy up a climb.
I don't think I'm as quick. I definitely wasn't quick today. I'm definitely not quick compared to a lot of people, but I'm all right. But yeah, we'll do an episode on like how we got into cycling and stuff like that. That'll be another episode. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the moaning minute, which I love. So basically, we've got a minute to moan about anything we want to moan about, and I'm ready for this. Kyle, do you want to go first this week? I'll time you. I want a 1 minute timer. Are you ready, Kyle?
I probably won't need the minute, but I'll give you the best
give
I've
it
got.
a good go. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'd say my moan of the week is catching this cold off you. Because that has really upset me this week. Because I had so many plans of stuff to do, stuff that I wanted to get done. And I'm not saying it's your fault, but maybe I should have isolated you so I didn't have to come anywhere near you and get the cold. So that is pretty much what annoyed me this week. What else? Oh, another thing that really annoyed me this week, this actually really got my blood boiling, was some old people, no offence to the old people, in Tesco, waiting by the aisle, right in front of what I needed to get, and they looked at me and just didn't budge. They've got no self-awareness. Like, let me in. It's going to take me... Sorry, you've got all day. This is going to take me 2 seconds to grab what I need. I can see it. You're looking through the aisle. You know what you want, really, but you're going to take 5 minutes perusing. I haven't got time for it. I'm in a bit more of a rush. You can go down and put your slippers on.
That's it. It's your minute. Well done, Kyle.
Yeah, that did actually get me going.
That was a good moan, that was. Right, now it's my turn, and I'm ready for it. Hang on. Right, 3, 2, 1. Right, my moan is the price of cafes these days. I'm sorry, me and Kyle went to a cafe yesterday, and my eyes nearly fell out my head. Kyle ordered a cake, £6.90. That is not a joke. We ordered 2 cakes and 2 hot drinks, and it came to £17.80. I mean, it's daylight blooming robbery. What are they doing? Producing the blooming flour in the back kitchen, get with a pestle and mortar? It's absolute joke, to be honest with you. I mean, what was it, a gold encrusted tart or something? I mean, I just, you just see that number and think, you just think, what on earth is going on? I mean, he did order some sort of pudding with custard on it or something, but it's just an absolute joke, to be honest with you. And my other moan is the old people too, because I went to Tesco the other day. They know what they want. They buy the same blooming thing every week, but they stand around. Why do they go on a weekday when everyone else, on an evening after work, when everyone else that does work, it's the only time we can go. They've got all blooming day to go. And on a Saturday morning, just get out of there. Oh, sorry, I stopped. Oh, that was much better. And my grand's an old person.
Bit
so no
over a minute.
No offence to my gran, but you just don't go on there on a Saturday. Why would you go on a Saturday? Or after 5 p.m? You've got all day, you're blooming retired. Go in a midday when nobody else is there.
I've got no qualm of when they go.
I have.
Like, I've got no issue.
I have.
But have some spatial awareness and understand that you don't need to take up the whole aisle to decide what you're going to get. Stand back. If you want to have a look, stand back. You don't need to be that close to it. Blocking.
Well, they probably do, because they probably can't read it.
Well, ask me to read it for you. It'd be quicker. Like, just let me get what. Just don't block the whole thing.
No, just get out the blooming way.
Like, I've got nothing against you, but you know what you're doing, and they really don't care. It's just the way they look at you in disgust because you're waiting. It's like, just come out of the way.
They're always buying the same things anyway. Probably rank bit of cheap, like non-mature cheese, salt. This is my gran now, and like white bread.
Or Garibaldi biscuits
and
or something.
Blooming these Activia yogurts she buys for digestion. And you just think
Penguins.
Let's be honest. You have a shopping list. You write down your shopping list. I don't know why, because you buy the same thing every week. You go round Tesco pretending, thinking, oh, I'm looking at the aisles. You don't put anything new in your trolley. You put the same things you put in every week. Just go at a time when no one else is there. Go mid-morning on a weekday. Have a lie-in. Treat yourself.
They always wear a really colourful Mac, don't they?
It's beige slacks and long floral skirts.
Yeah.
It's great. Anyway.
That's basically like where we live, basically.
Yeah.
It's that.
Anyway, I don't mind really. I am, a very calm and pleasant person to be around normally, but...
That's what she tells you.
After a ride, when you're really hungry and you're going to Tesco or somewhere, you just need to get some food. You don't want old people standing in your way.
Right, enough of the moaning now, because I think we've well and truly got that off the chest.
Yeah, that's off my chest now. But I would recommend, like I said last time, have a moan moment. It just really makes you feel better. And then afterwards, you feel calm. I feel calm now. I can go to Tesco. It could be full of old people and it wouldn't bother me. Because I've got it off my chest and I feel calm. I'd even, offer to escort them round Tesco if they wanted before I did my shopping so they could get what they wanted, Anyway, we'll talk a bit about our ride to Scotland then. So we did the 600 kilometres in 40 hours. And basically what we did was we rode from Derby to Carlisle on the first day. So we did just under 200 miles on the first day. Yeah. And then the second day, we rode from Carlisle up to a place near Loch Rannoch, a place called Killin. And my legs were killed off, I tell you. And to get the points for Audax, you have to do it within 40 hours. So what we did was we set off at 4:30 in the morning on the Wednesday. And we had until 8:30. Was that right? Yeah, we had until 8:30 on the Thursday to finish at night. So we ended up riding all day on the Wednesday, obviously. Finished at about 8 p.m. We then finished at an Airbnb, couldn't get in. Carl put the code in on the door wrong, didn't you? And the man had to come and do it.
No, I didn't put it in wrong.
That's what the man said.
He assumed I'd put it in wrong because it wasn't working. As soon as I put it in wrong the first time, I then rang him.
Yeah, and he told you put it in wrong.
Yeah, but he said you'd had to put it in wrong 3 or 4 times for it to block it, which I didn't do that.
Oh, right. Well, I don't know what
then
happened.
he managed to sort it himself anyway.
We eventually got in the Airbnb, basically. And then the next day we left at... Did we leave at 4:30 again? I think so.
Yeah.
And we did 178 miles the next day.
Very cold.
And it was cold, but it was great. I've been cycling just over 3 years now. Carl's been cycling just over 2, haven't you? And we've sort of always enjoyed the long distance and built up over time. But I just love a good long ride, seeing how far you can go. And an A to B ride, when you know you've got a destination to get to, it's just the best feeling. Arriving and knowing that you've come from one place and now you're in a completely different place and you've cycled through all these places. We went up the Shap climb, which is a famous climb because it's on the Land's End John O'Groats route. I didn't actually like it that much as a climb, to be honest. It was a bit underwhelming for me. It's not a hard climb, I don't think. Do you, Kyle?
No, I don't think it's iconic because it's a hard climb. No one's actually said that it was a hard climb.
No.
It was just more the fact it's iconic because anyone trying to go for the Land's End to John O'Groats record usually rides up, that's the typical route, rides up the Shap. And on a TT bike or whatever bikes they do it on, when you want it as quick and as flat as possible, that probably is the hardest section. Yeah. Along with maybe a couple of bits in Scotland. So it's just iconic in that regard. most of the time you're climbing up it, you don't feel like you're actually on the climb until you get near the top, maybe.
No, because I didn't realise we
That
were on
was
the
steep at the
climb.
top.
We got near the top and I was like, oh, when does the shack climb start? And Carl was like, Amy, we're on it. I was like, oh. Because it is it's so like gentle to start with, but then when you get to the top, you do. To be fair,
There's
it
a little
is,
steep section at the
there
top.
is some steep bits at the top. It's like, is it a 4 mile long climb, or is it even longer?
Longer
7
than that,
miles.
I think. Yeah, it's.
Get the stats up, Kyle. Come on.
So, the Shapfell climb is actually 8 kilometres long, with an average gradient of 2.3%.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's why it's
very,
easy.
very shallow.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's from Shap. That's the wrong one.
Oh, blooming
Do
heck,
apologise.
Kyle.
I knew it was longer than that.
It's the wrong blooming climb.
Ah, that's more like it. So it's 14.5 kilometres long. Average gradient of 3%.
Oh.
The steepest 100 metres is like 8.7%.
Quite steep. Not too bad, though.
And the total climb is 434 metres.
Yeah, so it goes up quite a bit.
So
but
it does, but
it's not too bad.
there's a steep red section there, but
Yeah.
and there's a few little downhills in between, so it's not that bad.
So
But
yeah,
it's
it's
just
not too bad
iconic.
really. So to be honest, there's not really much to report on the ride. It was pretty like we had no incidents on the 600k. It was beautiful when we got to Scotland. It was very cold. Somebody didn't bring their gloves with them. I don't know why, when it was like 3 degrees in the morning. We left here at 4:30 in the morning. It was like 3 degrees. You didn't have your gloves with you. And you were moaning your hands were cold.
No, the first morning I was okay.
Second morning you weren't.
Second morning I wasn't so okay.
Second morning you didn't want to speak to him, I tell you.
No, I wasn't in a good
You
way.
were very cold, weren't you?
Yes, my hands were basically stuck to my hoods.
I'm surprised you coped. I mean, I was freezing. I had gloves on. It was just so cold, and I've never been so cold. I felt cold to the bone. Then there you are with no gloves on.
And it did take maybe 2 or 3 hours after the sun come up for it to actually start feeling the warmth.
We've got a whole cupboard full of gloves here.
That's why I had to go up that hill quick.
Yeah. Well, that was a different day actually, Carl. So don't make excuses for
No,
that.
it was same day. End of that day.
Well, it wasn't cold at that point.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Anyway, but yeah, so we really love that, and obviously since we've been back from there, we've been back for a week, but I've been in bed for 2 days with a really bad cold. Carl's been dragging it out and pretending it's worse than it is. And he's looking at me now. No, I know that you've been ill too. Like it has been just really nasty. Like just Stephen still today on the ride, like my breath's not right. But on a mental health point of view, I've been really happy the last few weeks. I've just been on the mindset of let's just enjoy every day, because you don't get a receipt for the day, do you? So you might as well enjoy it. You can't give a day back, so let's not be stressing. Let's just enjoy it, because I am a stress head. I will stress about anything, won't I, Kyle?
Yes.
Like the little things. Like I get, if there's crumbs on the side in the kitchen, or if the house is a bit messy than I want it to be, or if I'm late, or I just get really stressed and then I have to take a step back and think, come on, Amy, it's okay. You don't need to get stressed about crumbs on the worktop. And then when I do get stressed about things like that, that's when I know I'm tired. And that's when Kyle sometimes gets it in the neck a bit, don't you?
I just get annoyed because I don't see why there needs to be a stress about these things. Because I don't get stressed about those things.
No, because it's you blooming doing the crumbs on the side, that's why.
No, but when they get stressed about it, it's real stress.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be.
No. I know, and I think that's... But it's so easy to, reflect. At the end of the day, you can reflect on the day. I try to, it sounds a bit, nerdy, but I try and, lie in bed at night and reflect on the day and think, right, what have I done today that I'm, proud of? What have I done that's good? But then what have I done that I'm not so proud of, or what do I want to do differently tomorrow? And it's always I wish I hadn't got stressed about that because that was silly. Or I wish I'd, been a bit calmer in that situation, or not overthought that. But it's so easy to reflect and think, right, I'm not going to do that tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and you're busy and you just get stressed about it again. So I think it's just about in the moment, just being right, take a deep breath, step back, it's okay, it's just a few crumbs. Get the dishcloth, get whatever, wipe it away, it's gone. So that's what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to try and be calmer, and we can report back next week if it's worked. Every time I feel a stress, I'm going to take a deep breath. Do you think you can do that, Kyle?
I don't need to.
Well, you are, actually, to be fair, you've got so much calmer. I noticed it on the Italy ride.
Probably because I'm knackered.
When we first started riding, Carl used to get so stressed out, if we got a puncture or if we went the wrong way, when the Garmin sends you the wrong way on a little out and back and then you have to go back on the route again. Kyle would literally be like, for God's sake, I've got to go all the way back again. You get so angry, wouldn't you, if we went the wrong way? But now he's just like, okay, let's turn around. It's all right.
But can I also point out, Amy took me on probably a 10-mile diversion when we did Land's End John O'Groats because a Garmin went crazy.
Yeah.
And then we did have to go a long way back, and yeah.
That was.
I don't think anyone would be very happy about
when
that.
When was that? May 2022?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember
and
that.
I was very green in cycling.
Yeah.
So I wasn't best
very
pleased.
green?
As in, very new to it.
I've never heard that. It's very green. Is that a real
green,
thing?
that's a real thing.
Is it?
Yes.
I've never heard that said before.
And, well, I'm a man of the world.
Learn something new every day.
And we had to go up a climb up this section, and it was a very steep climb. So, yes, I wasn't very happy on that. But, no, I'm not as stressed as I used to be.
You're definitely so much calmer. Right, we're going to move on to your emails. So we love having your emails, and we've had so many, I can't believe it. We'd love you to send in your either moan of the week, your proudest moment on the bike, or your worst moment on the bike, your failure on the bike. We love to hear them. Or, if you can, your arguments, like your marriage arguments. If you're not married, arguments with your girlfriend, boyfriend, partner, or even just arguments with friends. We'd love to hear them.
Or family.
It can be from years ago. It can be from now. It can be anonymous. Don't worry, we won't read your name out. Just say in your email you want to be anonymous. Email it into aka... What is the email card? Oh, hang on. Sorry about this.
This is how well organised
This is how well organised I am. akapodcast@outlook.com. That's akapodcast@outlook.com.
Who do you think you are? Radio presenter?
That's my radio presenting voice. I thought that was quite good, actually. Anyway, we're going for this lovely woman that sent in her moan. Where is it? And I just really resonated with it because, to be honest, it was me that morning. Where's the blooming email gone? I'm going to have to cut this out. Right, so we're going to go with Carol. Is that how you say it, Kyle? Carol from the Netherlands?
It could be
Carol.
From the Netherlands. I do apologise if we don't actually know how to say
that. Carol, I think, from the Netherlands. Anyway, she sent in this moan of the week. And honestly, she sent it in, and the same morning I had the exact same thing. I didn't break it, but...
I know what this is. And this was bizarre.
Yeah, so this is her rage of the week. For over 2 years, I've had these bloody annoying drying racks. And today I was struggling again because it's always getting loose. The damn connections at the side. So I just slammed it to the ground, kicked it and destroyed it completely into bits and pieces. My pure hatred for that thing is just immeasurable. Also, 10 minutes later, I ordered a new one. I'm glad to hear that, Karen. I'm glad you ordered a new one. I've got one, and I picked it up to put it outside, and all the poles just fall down everywhere, and then you can't get the poles back in because when you put it in one side, it then comes out the other side. It's a blooming nightmare, isn't it, Kyle?
Yes.
And I have to get you to help me, don't I?
I don't get as annoyed with it as much as Amy does, but it is annoying.
Well, I do, because it takes forever to hang the washing out, and then they all go everywhere. So, yeah, thanks for that, Carol. I can really resonate with that. And then we've got, hang on, one more, from, what's his name? Mark. So, Mark wants to talk about his proudest moment on the bike, which is a 356 kilometre or 221 mile ride in 17 hours from Rafa Manchester to Rafa London. He said it was one of the hardest days on the bike, and he had doubts whether he was ready physically or mentally, but he's a very stubborn person, and he did it, and he raised over £1,000 for Ambitious for Autism, a charity, with 160 other people, so that's absolutely great. He said that also his sort of low point has been that in 2020, just a little trigger warning here, it's a bit of an upsetting story, he lost a good friend who ended his own life, and Mark, who's emailed in, was really struggling with his own mental health after this, and in 2020 he struggled with a massive mental health breakdown, and after 18 months of appointments and counselling and support from his wife, very grateful for the support. I'm like that with Kyle. Without Kyle I would not be where I am today, so we've got a big shout out to anyone supporting. And from that awful day back in February, he said that his wife and cycling saved his life, and getting out on the bike no matter where he went was awesome. The fresh air, the sights, the sounds took me to a happy place, and he's a different person. He became free from the shackles of mental illness, and life started to make sense, and he cycled further every day, stayed out longer, and it didn't matter how the weather was, whether it was hot, cold, wet, not a problem. He just felt free, and he started to learn more about himself and stop overthinking, and that he was important. And he's made lots of new friends, including me and Monica and you, Kyle. He actually came on a ride with us, and since 2023 he's cycled up Mont Ventoux 3 times, And in 2024, he spent 5 days cycling around Girona and loved it. And on the 30th of September, which is tomorrow, he's off to Nice for a 5-day cycling trip. So he says he's now obsessed with all things cycling, and he said, sorry for rambling on. Don't you worry, Mark, I am a chief rambler.
Also, Mark, you were an extremely nice bloke. And when we met you, it was a pleasure to ride with you, because he was a really nice man.
And when we rode with him, we had no idea about his story, so it's just amazing. I think that's the thing about cycling. You never know who you're riding with. We're all from different backgrounds, and in every day as well, like you walk past so many people and you'd have no clue what's going on in their head. And we have to be so careful that, you know, we have no idea what is going on for someone next to us on the bus or on a train or at the supermarket. Like, they could have just gone through something really difficult or be going through something really difficult. And I think we have to have that awareness that we're all just living our lives trying to get through, and we have to be really kind to people and just be aware that just because someone, you know, might come across rude or not very nice, they're probably struggling with something. So we've just got to be a bit kind. And well done, Mark, for getting to where you are now. You are definitely
Incredible.
A very important part of the world, and anyone that's struggling or feels down about themselves, just never give up, because the world is a better place with you in it, even if you don't believe it. So keep on going. That's what I'm going to say to you. Anything to add, Kyle?
Yeah, it's always a shame that it's to sit here or see someone struggling, but the world is a much better place, like people like Mark in it. Like, it's just, yeah, it's not nice to hear, but there's always a nice side to that story as well. So
Yeah.
you've got to take the positives from it, haven't you?
Yeah, I think sometimes out of the most painful situations in life and the most awful things that happen, that we just, you know, there's no explanation for, or sometimes there is, but there's nothing we can do about. Sometimes beautiful things can come out of it. And obviously we still wish that it never happened. Like, there's awful, awful things that happen that we wish would never happen. But hopefully some good can come out of it, whether it's raising money for charity or finding something within yourself to keep going or discovering something new about yourself. So, yeah, well done, Mark.
And it also shapes you into a person that you become.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people go through difficulties and stuff like that, and it does make you a better person or a person you've become, so.
Yeah, I think it makes you realise when you go through a difficult thing, it makes you realise how strong you are.
Yeah.
And that you can get through these difficult times and you can keep going. So
And I think that can be important.
Yeah. So we got a bit deep at the end there, but thanks for sending that in, Mark. So yeah, send us in your rages of the week, your proudest moments, inspiring stories, things like that we want to hear, and obviously your arguments. We've not had an argument be sent in yet, so come on, don't be shy.
Maybe people don't argue.
I think people do argue, definitely. But if you send an argument in, just say you want it anonymous. We won't share your name. We just want to hear the juice. We want to hear the gossip.
You ain't got to tell your partner.
Yeah, don't tell your partner. We'll just send it in. It's fine.
Could be your sibling. Could be anyone.
Could be anyone. Could be your dog.
Could be your mum, your dad.
Anyway, we've waffled a bit today, but hopefully it's been slightly interesting. I don't know. I've got to edit this later, so I'll see what I can cobble together out of it. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. Really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you, really. That's all I can say. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Chester, you going to say goodbye today? Chester won't bark today. Carl's been giving him a head massage, so he's very sleepy. So we'll just imagine him barking. Carl, can you do an impression of his bark? Bye.
Goodbye.